This week on Healthy Living, a close look at hair loss. And what is alopecia and what causes it? An expert has some answers. Plus, a farming bootcamp in the DRC helped communities improve their skills in agriculture and their health. Finally, a Cambodian artist challenges prejudices against people with disabilities with his creativity. Thus, in this edition of Healthy Living. Hello, I'm Lina Moudou. Thank you for joining us on Healthy Living. Hair. It comes in different colors, length, and texture. Hair is found on the head and other parts of the body. Some people do what they can to have more hair. Others look for ways to get rid of it. It is normal for a person to lose 50 to 100 hairs per day, according to the American Academy of Dermatology Association. However, sometimes hair loss can be a cause for concern. Hair loss or alopecia can affect just the scalp or the entire body and can be temporary or permanent. It could be hereditary or caused by aging, hormonal changes, or a medical issue. The Will Smith-Chris Rock altercation at the Oscars last month had the side effect of highlighting alopecia, a disease that affects Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife, and many people around the world. VOA Portuguese service stringer Alfredo Jr. went to the streets of Maputo, Mozambique, to ask people what they know about alopecia.
Have you ever heard of alopecia?
No, I have never heard of it. It's new to me.
I was watching a soap opera and there is a character that suffers from this disease. She had hair loss, etc.
I've heard a lot recently because of the Oscars.
What if I tell you that this disease is related to baldness?
Baldness? Maybe it's caused by hair loss that causes baldness. I don't know. Baldness is also hair loss, but I can't differentiate between those two things.
Doctor and specialist in dermatology Nisha Mshkita explains what this disease is.
Alopecia areata means baldness, or in common terms, going bald. It is a disorder that occurs due to autoimmune problems. In this case, it fights against the hair follicle, leading to baldness or hair loss.
She says there are various causes of alopecia.
We have many causes. We have genetic factors associated to baldness, which means a father or mother suffers from baldness. The child has an elevated chance to develop baldness. We have other factors such as chronic malnutrition, and we do have a factor that we can't forget, and that many people don't look at, especially in children, which are the psychosocial traumas, the violence, physical aggression, sexual assaults, which are psychological or physical traumas that can lead to hair loss.
Dr. Mshkita says that many Mozambicans seek appointments at her clinic looking for a solution for alopecia and that sometimes holistic solutions are needed.
The treatment must be individualized, depending on what caused the alopecia, the hair loss. For example, if the cause was stress, besides the supplements that we will prescribe for alopecia, we need to solve the problem that initiated the stress. If we need to treat a generalized form of alopecia, we prescribe treatments with corticoids. It could be topical with medium to strong potency, depending on the patient. It could be an infiltration with corticoids, the intralesional triamcinolone, which are injections we apply on the scalp to induce hair growth.
Although it's most commonly seen on the scalp, experts say hair loss can actually occur all over the body, like the arms, legs, and back.
For more on alopecia, we spoke with Dr. Zainab Babba Dan Agundi, dermatologist at Federal Medical Center in Abuja, Nigeria.
The susceptibility is about the same for everyone. about 40% of both males and females have some kind of hair loss in their lifetime. The most common type is the androgenic alopecia worldwide. There is some hereditary component to it. That's mostly in adults. But for children, the commonest type of alopecia is the alopecia areata, which is usually immune-mediated. Commonly in Nigeria, we also see hair loss, especially in children, from tinea capitis, which is a superficial fungal infection. For the alopecia totalis, there is total hair loss of the whole scalp. It's immune-mediated, so there is possibility that the hair will regrow back on its own. But sometimes early treatment, we use oral steroids, or topical steroids. Sometimes we even do some injections. Alopecia can be a sign of so many other diseases like psoriasis, atopic dermatitis. Then number two, there can be other systemic diseases that can occur with hair loss. For example, iron deficiency, autoimmune diseases like diabetes, mellitus, thyroid disease, systemic lupus erythematosus, which is quite common. We see it especially in women in childbearing age. I think people don't even get to know that hair loss is a disease. They can actually seek for care. Seeing a doctor on time, a skin doctor on time, will help a lot, so that early diagnosis will be made, and then early treatment, which can change the story of the hair loss. Some bad hair practices that people are not aware of, use of chemical relaxers or hot combs, even tight braids. Treatment of underlying illnesses also, and the treatment of maybe the primary skin disease that is associated with the hair loss. We can give them medications that will help or fasten growth of hair. Then they can use also wigs. In some cases, it has to, especially in what we call the scarring alopecia, they may have to do a hair transplant, which I know we don't have that readily available in this part of the world.
Farming is a demanding job, both physically and mentally. Knowledge of how to grow and sustain the crops can be challenging, and harvesting a labor-intensive undertaking. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, people are training at an agro-ecological bootcamp to improve their health and learn better farming techniques. Take a look.
For agriculture practice, it is very important to be in good shape. And here, it is necessary to enlighten the spirit as well as the body.
We realized that there was a need for training in this area, to show them the knowledge, skills, and techniques to practice agriculture in a healthy way. Agroecology is farming without pesticides.
The main reason that pushed me to participate is to acquire knowledge on agroecology, because I'm in the wine production. I want to control the fruit that I use because I want to preserve our nature. For that reason, we as producers have to control our production chain, and for that we have to learn these agroecology techniques that we are using here. What touched me a lot, apart from the trainings, is all the human interaction, the relationship between the boot campers. We came from different countries with Beninese, there were Burkinabes, Nigerians, and Congolese. We were divided in two groups, so every day we had to work together. Our uniqueness is in the harvesting model. Because people, to make more money, decide to cut down palm trees. When we cut down palm trees, we have wine quickly. To have wine quickly, our environment is destroyed. But we do not cut down palm trees. It is at the level of the apical bud that we harvest our wine. Your production model is oriented towards a production model that will help with the planet's survival. We have ancestors that have preceded us, but we also have our descendants that will come after us.
We often use vitamins and supplements to boost our immune system and improve our health. But did you know that some supplements can affect your medication? Experts say a variety of supplements can increase, reduce, or cancel the effects of a prescription medicine in unpredictable or significant ways. According to the FDA, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, certain dietary supplements can change absorption, metabolism, or excretion of a medication and therefore affect its potency. For example, warfarin, a prescription blood thinner, herbal supplement ginkgo biloba, vitamin E, and aspirin can each thin the blood. Taking any of these products together may increase the potential for internal bleeding or stroke. Vitamin C is found in various foods, including citrus fruits, strawberries, and tomatoes. It's also consumed as a supplement for many reasons, ranging from fighting the common cold to preventing cancer. Among other things, high-dose vitamin C supplements may reduce the effectiveness of some types of cancer chemotherapy and can also affect estrogen levels, according to Mayo Clinic. Consult with a doctor before taking any new drug or supplement. The Cambodian artist Mon Chia is having something of a moment in the art world with exhibits in his country's capital, Phnom Penh, and the U.S. cities of Seattle and Denver. On canvas and block prints, he is challenging prejudices against people with disabilities. VOA's Scott Stearns has our story from Colorado with VOA Khmer Sokumomro Khan and Socheta Han in Cambodia.
At home in his Siem Reap studio, Mon Chia paints in the mornings before inking lino-cut blocks with his wife Poon Tu to make individual black and white prints.
My talent in art, as I remember, began when I was a young boy drawing in the soil. I didn't dream of being an artist when I grew up. But after the accident, when I became disabled, I started to learn art skills from a local NGO, Epic Art.
12 years ago, Mon Chia was burned in an electrical accident on a building site, leading to the amputation of both his arms below the elbow.
When I was in the village, I thought I was alone. I saw some people were struggling more than me. That made me want to live my life and work hard.
4 years ago, Mon Chia met Seattle artist Lauren Ida, who was working in Cambodia and opened her studio to local artists.
He drew the first block and then I chiseled it. And then the second time he said, oh, I think I can do that. Let me try. So we weighted it down with something heavy on the end. So he had something to push against. And now he's very prolific. So he's creating larger blocks. He's painting a lot more with acrylic.
The painting that shows me with the butterfly wings illustrates the turning point in my life. From a rural boy in the rice field who didn't know the city and didn't know many people. Then, when I turn to art, my life changes.
He often finds these very sweet metaphors. This one is about hangers. The idea is that they look flimsy, but they actually are really strong because they need to be strong to hold up the heavy, wet clothes. And that's a metaphor for himself. He looks disabled, but he doesn't feel disabled, and he's a lot stronger than he looks.
After the accident, his uncle gave him a job raising ducks, an experience reflected in sometimes happy, sometimes difficult, on display at the Denver show, curated by Shanna Shelby.
It was hot, difficult work, but he was grateful for the job. And so just the sentiment that sometimes happy, sometimes difficult, I think resonates with so many different people.
The disenfranchisement of people with disabilities is reflected in wishing for inclusion.
The fish is in a big, huge mess, but still is beautiful. And so, I kind of relate to that in our world that is a big mess, but still we have this beautiful fish.
Mon Chia says his art and his accident are inseparable parts of his story.
I changed the mindset of people who used to think that with a disability, I could not do anything besides being a beggar or fed by others.
Mon Chia is part of the Open Studio Cambodia collective that provides marketing, supplies, and exhibition opportunities in promotion of Cambodian contemporary art.
For the latest news and coverage on the coronavirus, stay connected to Voice of America at voanews.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Linochmudu. That's our show for today. Until next time, take care and strive to make every day a healthy day.